Yeah, Manchester United are expecting to finalize this deal today now. An announcement could come in the next 24 hours, so we really are closing in on what is a really exciting signing for Manchester United. Personal terms agreed, medical has been completed as well. The fee will rise over £50 million for an 18-year-old who's barely played 60 competitive appearances at club level, but somebody who everybody's seen so much potential in. Now, last week you brought the news that United had agreed a deal with Lille for the signing, but United have been working so hard over the last few days to convince him that Old Trafford is the right place for him to play his football next. Because it was felt that Real Madrid was his preferred destination. Real Madrid haven't been able to put together a deal or a financial agreement that is what Lille are after, really, because this is the last summer where Lille can get any significant money for him, because they risk losing him on a free transfer in the summer. So United closing in on someone who's been described as one of the most exciting young defenders in Europe, somebody who has the potential to become one of the best defenders in Europe as well. So Lenny Yoro, imminent for Manchester United. They've obviously already made a signing that was announced on Sunday, that's Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna. They seem to be moving quite efficiently and quickly in this transfer window. What is it saying about their approach under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos? Yeah, you mentioned the word efficient and quick. That's what they've been doing because they've now got this strong leadership team in place. Bear in mind, Dan Ashworth only started work earlier on this month as sporting director. Omar Barada joining from Manchester City as chief executive as well. Christopher Vivell, Jason Wilcox joining in recent time too. So they've got this strong Football Legion team to help support Erik ten Hag, who they've decided is the right man to lead United into this new era. They've refreshed his coaching setup, Ruud van Nistelrooy amongst the coaches that have joined his team. They've helped resolve the situation around Jadon Sancho as well. They've replaced two players that left the club in the summer in the form of Anthony Martial and in the form of Raphael Varane as well. If Leny Yoro is confirmed with that deal to sign Joshua Zirkzee, and crucially, we've seen a different policy when it comes to transfers in this window for Manchester United. They've sold well already in this window, which is something that United haven't done for a long period of time. They've been looking at multiple options for the same position, which is something which we saw with the centre-back situation. De Ligt, Brentford and Yoro, three players they were targeting at the same time. They don't want to be drawn into these long sagas, which we've seen in recent years, like with Jadon Sancho with Frankie de Jong as well, and they're targeting young players that they think can develop to be world-class. And that's what they've done exactly right in the early stage of this window. Yeah, so they're moving quickly, but United fans will be wanting more. Where else could Manchester United strengthen? Yeah, so they'll be looking at focusing on other areas of the pitch now. Central midfield, like it's a priority for United, also looking at departures as well. So they haven't ruled out signing another centre-back in this window, but it's thought that would probably hinge on the future of Victor Lindelof and maybe Harry Maguire. Now, both players coming to the end of their contract, slightly different situations when it comes to Harry Maguire, because there's an option for United to extend that for another year. Not the same for Victor Lindelof, but they're not actively trying to sell either player at this moment in time. So centre midfield doesn't like the area they want to strengthen in. Now, Manuel from PSG. Dialogue continues with PSG around the signing of him, and they're also keeping an eye on the situation of Adrien Rabiot as well. So Juventus and Rabiot today confirmed he's departed the club as a free agent. Now he's a player United have tried to sign before last summer. They looked at it a few seasons ago before as well, 29 years of age, but we did see him feature for France. He started every game in the Euros as they reached the semi-finals. Slightly different profile player when you consider the signs United are looking to make in this window already. Zirkzee, 24 years of age. Yoro, 18 years of age. And also it's worth bearing in mind and thinking about the situation around Sofiane Amrabat as well. They do have the option to trigger that as a permanent deal. And we wait to see if United look to do that. Internal discussions ongoing as to whether they're going to try and trigger that or not. But let's break away from everything right now to bring you some huge breaking news at this moment. And it has been confirmed in the last couple of seconds that Gareth Southgate will step down as England manager after defeat in the Euro 2024 final to Spain. He said he would go away and speak to the important people behind the scenes. He has done that and he has made his decision. He resigns as England manager. That news just breaking at this moment. He took over the senior job in temporary charge on the 27th of September 2016 and now steps down from that position. We have a statement just into us. It reads like this: as a proud Englishman, it has been the honor of my life to play for England and to manage England. It has meant everything to me and I have given it my all. But it is time for change and for a new chapter. Sunday's final in Berlin against Spain was my final game as England manager. I joined the FA in 2011 determined to improve English football. In that time, including 8 years as England men's manager, I have been supported by some brilliant people who have my heartfelt thanks. I could not have had anyone better alongside me than Steve Holland. He is one of the most talented coaches of his generation and has been immense. I have had the privilege of leading a large group of players in 102 games. Every one of them has been proud to wear the 3 lines on their shirts, and they have been a credit to their country in so many ways. The squad we took to Germany is full of exciting young talent, and they can win the trophy we all dream of. I am so proud of them, and I hope we get behind the players and the team at St. George's Park and the FA who strive every day to improve English football and understand the power football has to drive positive change. My special thanks go to the backroom staff who provided the players and me with unstinting support over the last 8 years. Work and commitment inspired me every day, and I am so grateful to them. The brilliant team behind the team. We have the best fans in the world, and their support has meant the world to me. I am an England fan, and I always will be. I look forward to watching and celebrating as the players go on to create more special memories and to connect and inspire the nation as we know they can. Thank you, England, for everything. Now we've seen Premier League sides ramping up their preparations for the new season this morning, but what about Germany? Well, Vincent Kompany is taking his first live open training session in front of the fans today. Let's bring in Nolan Baker. Nolan, good morning from us here in London. So a first chance to see Vincent Kompany working with his players. What have you made of it so far? Yeah, he is very intense on the pitch communicating with his players. We can have a look on him. I can show you Vincent Kompany on the right side. We have him with a cap. He's the only guy on the pitch who wears long sleeves. I don't get it because it's so hot here, 30 degrees, but he's very involved talking to the players, especially to the defenders, central defenders. For example, Hiroki Ito, a new player from VfB Stuttgart, came to Bayern Munich, and Min Jae Kim and Eric Dier, an English defender who was fully involved in the training as he was not a part of the English national team squad at the Euros. And over here, Nolan, we're hearing that Manchester United still admire Matthijs de Ligt. What are you hearing where you are about de Ligt's future? Yeah, he has an agreement with Manchester United, verbal agreement, and it depends now on Manchester United obviously to pay the 50 million Bayern Munich expects to get from Matthijs de Ligt. But we hear that Manchester United, it is not open to pay that amount of money. We know also that Manchester United just got a good central defender with Leny Yoro for 60 million, so they won't pay that much, and that's the information we have. The deal is right now on hold. De Ligt hopes to get a decision soon because he wants to play football here at Bayern Munich. It's going to be difficult for him because Upamecano Dier, Min Jae Kim, Ito, some central defenders, and they want to bring Jonathan Tah from Bayer Leverkusen as well. So for him, it would be the best solution now to leave Bayern Munich and to get a new challenge. That's the case right now, but both clubs, they need to find an agreement, and that's not the case so far. Just really briefly, Nolan, Michael Olise, Joao Paulina, 2 players that have left the Premier League to go there. What are you expecting from those 2 this season briefly? Yeah, big expectations here, especially for Paulina, who was close to Bayern Munich last summer. Now he's part of the squad and they need a good defender, a good number 6, a holding midfielder who helps the defense. That was missing last season. They conceded many goals, and yeah, they also expect a lot from Michael Olise because he played very well at Crystal Palace. He's a very good player, a street baller, 1-against-1 dribbling speed. So they expect a lot from him, and because Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sane, all the other wingers, they didn't perform that well the last season. So yeah, big expectations. Alright, Nolan will watch the rest of that training session with interest over there as Bayern Munich get ready for their first season with Vincent Kompany in charge. Thank you very much indeed. Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna. The fee is understood to be just over £35 million, which is actually above Zirkzee's £33.6 million release clause. However, it is in exchange for a more favourable payment terms, as United will not pay a lump sum up front, but pay over a 3-year period. Personal terms are already agreed and Zirkzee is expected to have a medical this week before signing a 5-year contract with the option of a further year. Well, a comparison of Zirkzee's heat map in Syria last season to Manchester United's strike at Rasmus Højlund's Premier League heat map indicates that they could well dovetail as a strike partnership. Most of Zirkzee's work seems to be outside of the penalty box, whilst Højlund spends a lot of time inside the area. And this is how Zirkzee looks when put up against the other Syria forwards. He may only be 10th on the list of top goalscorers, but his involvement in build-up has been a huge part of Manchester United's interest in him. He ranks highly for chances created, through balls attempted and total touches. He also ranks top for total tackles and possession won in the attack in third. But to the football, Brentford have beaten AFC Wimbledon 5-2 in a pre-season game earlier, their new £30 million striker Igor Thiago scoring twice on his debut. Thomas Frank has been speaking to Sky Sports reporter Gary Cottrell. It's always good to have a good start and get 2 goals into him and get the confidence boosted, but it's a friendly, it's again a League 2 team, so there's still bits to go, but positive. He's here to score, but it seemed to me, and again it is only his first game, a pre-season friendly, there's more to him than just scoring goals. Yeah, definitely great work I think. Great running behind, also had a nice little link up with Wist today, so it looks good. There's nothing you've seen in his performance today that will change the club's stance regarding what you were saying at the end of last season. It looks like Ivan Toney is probably going to go this summer. Yeah, you never know, he's a Brentford player, I would love him to stay. That would give me a very positive challenge, but I haven't met a coach that doesn't want as many good players as possible, so right now Ivan is a Brentford player. Just like last season, I remember you commented once about most questions you took at the press conference last season were about Ivan Toney. And again, all the rumors are swirling around about what the price is coming down because there's a lack of interest. What is the latest with him? Have you had any offers at all? Do you know where you stand? I know he's a Brentford player. I know he's enjoying his time off. Well-deserved time off after the time with England. And I'm happy if he's here with us. I'll be more than happy. A training goal scorer. There's 2 things in that. That's very good to have in your team. If someone wants to buy him, it's expensive. But having Thiago here certainly helps with the whole decision-making process. Yeah, I've said that before. I want to keep all my players, besides maybe 5 or 6 clubs in the world. We are selling clubs, so it's the right bid, but it needs to be the right bid that's coming in, then fine. And talking about a busy summer, you've been on the television, we've seen you in the Euro as well. Tony did really well. Very interesting, a bit of a holiday, but also you've been in the news as well. Your name has been in the news. Let's run through some of the my name, not me. Chelsea, were you ever tempted? You know, as I said before, I'm very happy at Brentford. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of talking. What I'm focusing on has always been Brentford. Manchester United, again, your name was linked. It's good though, you'll be linked with these clubs. But it can't be bad for the ego for this. No, I said that, you know, every person on the earth got an ego. I think I got an ego that I can control okay. But of course, it's always nice to be boosted with interest. That's good. But I also said that I'm very happy at Brentford, probably one of the best clubs to be at as a head coach. Maybe one day an international manager, even England you've been linked with. Yeah, there's a lot of links, I don't know what it is. How can you say? That's of course a big honor. I have thought about my own country, that's maybe your next question, because there's also, it was Indeed, and I was next, so I can take that for you, you don't have to ask me. Both jobs of course would be a huge honor, of course my own country is something. I thought about that, maybe that could be in the future. It's always about timing. Right now I'm very happy at Brentford. We start though with Manchester United, who are closing in on their second big signing of the transfer window. As you can see, Nolan Baker joins me with much more on this. Lenny Yoro's move from Lille. Nolan, how close are United to signing this 18-year-old centre-back? Yes, it's a big one, and it could be very, very close because we're now told that the Lille defender, Leny Yoro, is flying to the UK for a medical with Manchester United. We told you last week that the deal had been agreed between Manchester United and Lille, worth in excess in total of PS50 million. That's including performance-related add-ons. All throughout this transfer window, it was thought that Real Madrid was the preference for Leny Yoro and that he wanted to go there. However, Real Madrid have not come anywhere near what Manchester United have agreed with Lille. Now, Lille probably wanted it out there that the deal had been agreed with United because it was their way of saying, this is how much it is going to cost if you want to buy Lenny Yoro. Real Madrid have not matched that deal. All options were still on the table at that point though, because Lille are slightly hamstrung simply because Yoro has entered the final year of his contract. So if he didn't want to go to United and Real Madrid didn't match what United were offering, there's nothing to stop him waiting 5 months and signing a pre-contract agreement with a club outside France in January, namely Real Madrid, and joining for no money at all, barring compensation costs next summer. However, Manchester United, once they'd agreed with deal, then wanted to speak to the player and his representatives. And in those talks, they spoke to Lenny Yoro and his representatives about the project at Manchester United and where they see Lenny Yoro in that project. And it seems at this stage that they've convinced him that Manchester United is the place for him to continue and further develop his career. There is still work to do on this deal. Make no mistake about it, it is not fully done. Yes, it's done club to club. Yes, he's over for a medical. He still has to sign on the dotted line. There's nothing to say that Real Madrid might not come in and make a huge bid. But as far as we're aware, United now are optimistic that they can get this deal over the line. He's been described as a generational talent. He may not have been a player that was on a lot of clubs' radar with regard to the profile that they were looking for, but simply because of the actual talent of the player and the potential of him, it seems like a unique market opportunity for certain clubs to go in and try and bring a player like that into their club. So if they get this one over the line, what would the knock-on effect be for the likes of the Matthijs de Ligt and Brentford? So we have been saying that Manchester United have been working on 3 deals in parallel. Lenny Yoro, which we know now is quite far down the line. Jarrod Brantwaite, that Everton do not want to sell. And they've made 2 bids, have United, the latest being £50 million, and Matthijs de Ligt, where Bayern Munich won in excess of €50 million, including performance-related add-ons. It's thought de Ligt does want to make the move. With de Ligt and Brantwaite, I'm told that they remain options, but it will depend on budget and also squad space. And I think that's key here because it will depend if there are any further departures at Manchester United in the central defensive area. If there are, then Manchester United might go into the market for another central defender, because we have been saying that they're definitely in the market for one, because Raphael Varane has left following the expiration of his contract. Willy Kamwala has since left as well on a permanent deal to Villarreal. If, for example, Victor Lindelof wants to leave Manchester United, he's into the final year of his contract, then there is a big chance that Manchester United, depending on their budget, will go back into the market for a central defender. And those 2 names will not go away.